Hello beautiful ones, this is Eliza Kendall coming to you from Bundjalung country in northern New South Wales in Australia. It's Thursday the 1st of October 2020 and this is a weekly spirit report offered to you simply to share the information that I received during quantum healing hypnosis sessions, that which is relevant to the collective, information I received during psychic readings with clients, as well as my own observations of the energies and the themes that I notice come up with those around me, including myself during the week. As well as all the spirits I speak with and any information that they are passing to us that is very specifically offered with the intention to assist the evolution of the human race on planet Earth. So, okay, what have I got for you today? I want to start out with meditation. It kind of is a bit of a loaded word for some people. I know they hear the word meditation and they go, "Ooh, I can't still my mind, it's too difficult." And I want to say to you, if there was ever a time to learn, it is now. I also want to say it is going to be extremely helpful for you to be prepared for 2021, 2022. Things are going to continue moving a lot. There will be more chaos. And in order to maintain your inner peace, meditation is just really one of the very best ways. So yesterday I was meditating. I just want to share with you kind of like that sweet spot. Some point when I'm meditating, it takes a different amount of time, different days. I get to this sweet spot where everything melts away. All the conflict, all the chaos, all the discordance, all the arguments, all the bickering, all the worries, all the expectations I put on myself, all the disappointments, all the failures, even the dreams and the hopes, it just dissolves and melts away, and I am nothing and everything at the same time, and it's the most delicious feeling. It's bliss, it's complete serenity, and in that moment I remember who I am. I know myself as an important part of a collective mission, but I know myself also as one who is perfect just as I am. I know myself as one who is accepted and loved and is as love, therefore has no need for it. I know myself as one who has no need for approval from others, for I am simply part of everything. I am nothing. The external has dissolved. The identity has dissolved, and there's just peace and stillness. And to me, there isn't really anywhere else that you can access that kind of choice to be still, that choice to allow the consciousness, or the conscious mind, I should say, to dissolve, to allow the body to dissolve, to transcend out of the ego, and to just exist as a soul. It's fucking delicious. Give it a shot. Start easy if you haven't meditated before, or you're finding it something that's difficult. Quality over quantity is better. If you can only meditate for a few minutes before you kind of lose the quality and your mind is wandering around, then cool, do it for a few minutes, get a little better every day. If you can do 15 minutes a day in the morning is absolute best, before your thoughts get on, before you get on social media or pick up your phone, meditate. Give yourself that time, that space, that care, that energy, that attention. It will bring you tremendous benefits. Okay, so I'm also going to invite you to keep considering what you are giving your energy and attention to. This continues to be highlighted to me every week. I notice the extreme contrast. I notice where the conflict is in my life and how strong and I want to say how strong I think that is, how huge and kind of weighty, how important I think that is. And then I shift my attention away from that conflict and I shift it back to my mission, to my purpose, or I shift it back to the moment. I shift it back to, watching the way that the sun hits the leaf. And I notice that my life force turns up, it gets stronger. But when I am engaging in the conflict, my life force turns down. And I notice when my life force turns down, my ego wants to come out and fight. But when I fuel my energy myself and I allow and I do things that feel good and I do things that are positive, I focus my attention on things that are positive, my life force energy builds up and I'm able to transcend my ego up into my heart space. And from there, the conflict becomes tiny, small, quite incomparable to the grand picture of what I'm here to do and what I'm here to contribute and the choice I made to come and incarnate, to be alive right in the middle of the Great Awakening. And I want to say to you, if you're watching this, you have already awakened, and that's fucking awesome. And so you're on the journey, and I know it can be pretty intense and pretty scary, and I know there's a lot of edges and there's a lot of stretching that's going on, but this is what's called for, and it is the Great Awakening. And so it's kind of like the sooner you get on board with that awakening, the easier the journey will be for you. So I guess I'm encouraging, if you are feeling resistant, if you are, I want to say, feeling really triggered a lot, really upset by other people's choices and the things that they're doing and the decisions that they're making, that's an invitation for you to have some reflection to yourself, to see where the projections are, to also see where there is growth and healing for you. It's time to turn within. For all of us, it is time to turn our attention within and to know ourselves outside of the external forces, to understand ourselves outside of the external influences and opinions. And because the external ideas and opinions are really all over the place right now, right? How do you determine what's true when you are relying on other people's perspectives to tell you what's true? How do you determine what's real? What is illusion and what is truth when you are receiving information filtered through platforms that are designed to confuse you, that are designed to create confusion and encourage misinformation? What do you do if the internet can no longer be relied upon to pass down information that has not been manipulated for someone else's agenda? What do you do if you can no longer rely upon the leaders that we have chosen in this world to lead us, to guide us? What do? You have no choice, in my view, but to turn within, but to begin listening to the inner being that is the very best part of you to guide you. That is the very highest intelligence, the most intelligent capacity that you have. The most intelligent voice, the most intelligent guidance comes from your inner being. It does not come from any external forces or opinions or ideas or concepts whatsoever. So, in this time of great confusion and great misinformation, I continually encourage myself to turn within again and again and again, turn within, move out of my ego, move out of my defensiveness and my resistance, move out of my emotional body and up into my heart space, transcend the desire to be right and move up into your heart space. if you are wanting to be right. Seriously, if you are wanting and you are trying to convince other people of your rightness, of the opinions that you have decided are right, and the opinions counteractive to that are wrong. If you are trying and putting energy and attention into asserting your right and asserting the other people's wrong, then you are not on your path of least resistance. You are not on the graceful path, and you're not in your heart space, because the heart does not try and convince anyone of anything. The heart's intelligence may lay out information in front of you. It will not shove your face in it and drown you in it. You know, you can lead the horse to the water and show it the water and tell it how beautiful it is and how purifying it is and how wonderful it will make them feel and look and be. Don't shove their face in it. If you are trying to shove their face in that water or forcing them to drink it, that is not love. That is old paradigm behavior. That is a way of moving through the world that is being eradicated and dissolved off the planet right now. And that is your resistance. And mostly the resistance gets the most intense right before the Great Awakening happens. So I'm excited for you if you're feeling a lot of resistance and conflict right now, because I know that you're on the precipice of a really big awakening, and this is just what we need right now, is to be brave enough and courageous enough to really look at ourselves in full truth, and then to release any desire to be right. It's a tricky one. Okay. So yeah, really watching where your energy goes, watching what you're giving your attention to. So important right now. You know, so many of us are losing energy. Things like, you know, social media platforms, losing energy. I kind of want to say focused on things that are really outdated. Losing energy on focusing on the world that you don't want. You are wasting your energy and wasting your dreams, and you are not contributing to the creation of a new world if you are focusing on what you don't want. Yeah, if you're focusing on the bad, if you're talking about the bad, if you're talking about all the shit that's going on all the time, you are not feeding in to the timeline you want. We're gonna need to really focus our attention now on dreaming in the new world. What that requires is choice, determination, and fucking tenacity and mental strength. You know, it's not for those who are not willing to play big. Okay? When you awaken, you are now playing big. You're no longer playing small, and you kind of don't have much of a choice but to play big once you've awakened, because everything opens up and you can't ignore what you now see. You can't turn off what you see beyond the illusion. It's there, it's right in your face. So you kind of have to play the big game now. And so in order to bring ease and facilitate that, to make it an easier and more enjoyable experience, don't waste your energy on what you don't want, on what you don't like. Focus on the kind of world you do want. Talk about that. Dream that. Be that. Be the change. It's not really that hard, but it does require a choice, and it requires a choice every day to continue embodying the principles and the morals that you want to see played out in all humans. You're going to have to model that for other people, and you're going to have to hold really fast in that intention. And now I want to say, it's not really that easy, but I was like, it's not that hard. This is the paradoxical world that we live in. And I guess it is simply determined by your own mindset on every given day or in every given moment, how hard that is to do. Okay, so yesterday I did a quantum healing session and my client really wanted to know the energies of 2021. So we asked that question, and the answer I felt might be helpful for other people. It's a short answer, but I wrote it down for you, and I asked permission to share it with you. So, excuse me, I'm going to read that out. Okay. So I said, so basically in the quantum healing sessions, what we are doing after we do the past life regression is we talk to the superconscious. So when we use the word superconscious, what we're talking about is the oversoul, the collective energy of the oversoul that, what can I say? I can say guides. I'm hesitant to use other words around this. Guides and looks over and passes down knowledge and information. I could say manages the kind of existence, the earth existence. The oversoul is like, I don't know, the great wise head of this realm. These words are tricky. It is indeed a convoluted universe. Anyway, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying here. So basically, the superconscious has access to all the information, and so we have this really awesome opportunity to ask questions and receive knowledge. And sometimes those questions are relevant to the collective, so I usually ask if I can share it. Okay, so my question was, what will the energy of 2021 be like? The answer was, it will still be a mess. People are waking up. She could share the message of love to people who are willing to listen to help them through their transition. It will still be a mess, lots of things to come. People need to be ready for the change. So my client was basically asking what she could do in order to help. And so part of her life purpose is to share the message of love with people. And so that was a response for her in what she could do to help. She could spread the message to people who are willing to listen, to help them through their transition. It will still be a mess. There is lots of things to come. People need to be ready for the change. So this is what I was talking about, being ready. If you have awakened, then continue to work on understanding yourself and moving up into your heart space. Use meditation, use many different things that work for you in order to maintain your inner harmony and your inner peace. If you haven't awakened, you might want to call in some help for that. There's lots of support around you, but I want to say that you will be awakening, and it's just inevitable now that this process is spreading across the world, and this has been in play for a few decades, to say the least, of people awakening on this planet. So en masse is now what's occurring in 2020. There's a mass awakening. I'm having a lot of clients come to me who have just awakened this year, and the spirits are just sending them straight to me, which is very honoring to mentor and to teach them the things that I've learned, because I just had a good 20 years ahead, that's all, to learn some skills about how to be here and how to move through the awakening. So my next question was, do you have any advice about how we can be ready? Because they said people need to be ready for the change. So do you have any advice about how we can be ready, or what will it be like for us in 2021? The response was, people need to look more inwards to live a simple life. Don't get affected by the TV and the politicians. Really listen to their inner voice. Quit the job they don't like. Have the courage to do all the things they have always wanted to do. Follow their truth. In that way, people will have less suffering. Very simple, very clear. Look more inwards to live a simple life. Don't get affected by the TV and the politicians. Really listen to your inner voice. Quit the job you don't like. have the courage to do all the things you've always wanted to do. In that way, you will experience less suffering. So if you are already awake, then there's no doubt you are a way shower for other people around you. If you are already awake, then you are probably a way shower for your family. And so in order to assist them throughout their transition, encourage them to look within, encourage them to not be affected by the television and the politicians, encourage them to meditate and be quiet and be still, and encourage them to do all the things they've always wanted to do. This will ease the transition and make it much more enjoyable. And we are allowed and permitted to grow and evolve while experiencing joy. Okay, I'm going to repeat that because that is an absolute truth. That is one of the big illusions of this matrix. We are allowed and permitted to evolve and grow on this planet while experiencing joy. The idea that you need to suffer to grow is a false one. And that's one of the many things that we are unraveling on this planet, these concepts that have limited us ever so much. Okay, all right, I'm going to stop raving. But I want to say to you, I love you so much. I'm just like loving all the humans right now, even the ones that are having conflict with, which is only one. It's just a miraculous time. This time on the planet is a time I've worked, and not just me, but personally I've worked and waited for 20 years, for longer really. And it is what it is, and it's going to come in waves. It's going to keep kind of flowing in waves. So we've all got to learn to be surfers of the chaos right now. Ride the wave, it will pass. Ride the wave, it will pass. Okay, and on the other side, we're going to come out in that green room. I promise you. It's definitely kind of going to come out for the good, but it's probably going to take another couple of years. So yeah, that's why I'm really encouraging you and the superconscious as well to be prepared. Get prepared. Do what you need to do. And if you want any help with that and you're feeling it, give me a ring. Okay. All right, let's see what the beautiful spirits have to say today. See if they want to make it short. We are grateful that you are encouraging people to move into their heart space and transcend the ideas and the beliefs that they have had that have created limitations on them and have told them that they are not good enough, or have told them that they cannot have the life that they want, or any ideas and concepts, any opinions or perspectives that come from outside of them that have told them they are not worthy, or they are not allowed to have the life of their dreams, or they are not allowed to do the things they have always wanted to do. We are always encouraging you to turn your attention within and to know that we are in full support of you having the dreamiest of dream lives that you can possibly imagine, and that we are in full support of you finding joy, pleasure, and enjoyment even in the most chaotic of times. We are always going to return again and again and again, as much as you are willing to speak with us, to encourage you to turn your attention also to nature, turning your attention to the peace and the way that nature works together in such harmony. Even though it sometimes seems to be quite chaotic, it is in fact working together in a beautiful, divine, harmonious, synergistic way. And we are inviting you to turn your attention not only to within, yes, to your inner being, yes, to your inner self, yes, to your inner strength and your inner powers, and determining for yourself what kind of world you want to live in, and then creating your inner landscape to match the kind of world you want to live in, we are also inviting you and continually encouraging you to drop your attention and your awareness out of your mind that is busy and confused and chaotic, down into your roots, or down into the earth, into the planet as it holds you, for it is requiring your love and your attention in order for it to support you in the awakening. We know many of you have questions about certain things in this existence that you have been told, certain times in history, certain, perspectives, theories, certainties, truths that they are so called, that have been, we want to say, placed down in front of you, and they have been shown to be an absolute truth, and they have shown to be inscrutable in their truthfulness. And we know that many of you now are beginning to understand that those truths are but an illusion, and they have been placed there in order to, we want to say, take your attention away, turn your focus away from the most wonderful pathway for everyone on this planet. These things have been designed and have been constructed in order to turn your attention away from that which is most important. And we know that many of you are experiencing this now, where you are knowing and seeing and even beginning to just perceive in a small way, perhaps, that many of the things you have been taught, many of the things that the television or the history has, as it was written, has told you, are fallible, are up for, we want to say, a new viewing. They are now being viewed in a different way, or a more centered, more grounded, more anchored in one's heart space way. And as you view these things from a position where you are more connected to yourself and therefore everything around you, where you are more elevated and you are more connected to the cosmic intelligence, you are knowing and feeling within yourself that these things are not as they seem. And we know you have many, many questions, and we are willing, absolutely willing to answer all of the questions, but please understand they will be drip fed to you at the most appropriate time. And while some are receiving certain information right now, a lot of the information that you are wanting to be clarified and cleared right now and brought into full transparency is still being, we want to say, maneuvered in a way that it can be seen in truth. It is requiring a reshuffling, so to speak, so that it can come into a place or a view where you are able to understand it and accept it with all of your intelligences. And we will not be sharing this information with you until you are able to understand it and accept it with your intelligences, because we do not wish to create or contribute to any more confusion. Okay. Yeah, I can feel there's lots coming there. You know, I have some of my own questions about some stuff that I really want to ask, but yeah, I know these things are revealed all in due course, and it's important to kind of allow them to drop down when it's most appropriate and not sort of be forcing things too much. So Anyway, that might not mean much to you, but I know a lot of you have a lot of questions that you've been asking me, and I want to get to them all, so we'll just have to be a little bit patient about that. Okay. And if you do have any, please send them to me, because I will keep them and ask them when I can just feel that there's some receptivity there to answer them. Okay. All right, let me just love for you always and forever. My heart to your heart. All the awakened hearts together is making much lighter for us to work. What a wonderful thing it is that we have each other, that we have found one another, and that we can support one another as we support other people through this transition. Thank you for being here. Talk to you next week, if not before.